So on this video, we're going to show you how to get started with your Google AdWords pay-per-click campaign. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. They've made it really easy so that you can really just get going, within a few minutes. So one thing to say is that a couple of things. First of all, they change elements of this process slightly all the time. And also they're constantly testing themselves what works best. So depending on when you watch this video, the process we're about to go through might be slightly different when you actually do it. But the basic fundamental principles are going to be the same. So what you do to get started is this. You go to Google and you click here on advertising programs like that. And click here on sign up now. And another sign up now. And this is the beginning of the sign up process. So first of all, if you've got an existing Google service like Google Mail or AdSense, something like that, you can select this one because you've kind of got a semi-Google account already in that case. If not, just click there and put your details in. Hang on. Click on Create Account. Now you set your time zone and the currency you want to pay in. So I'm going to click United Kingdom, London. And you can pay in any currency. So if you have a global business, if you're not in the UK, you can select whatever you want to pay in. I've done it for British pounds. And press continue. And that's kind of part one. This has two parts to it. Part one is just that, setting up the basics there. And normally they'll send you an email and you have to verify your account, just clicking on a thing. Once you've done that, anytime you want to sign into Google, into your account, you go back to Google, click on advertising program. Obviously you can bookmark this as well. Click up here, Google AdWords, and we sign in here. So we're going to do... So this takes us through to the second half of the sign up process. There's a little note here about browsers. It does seem actually that some browsers work best for the AdWords interface than others. The actual control console here, especially if you've got a big account, it's actually kind of quite a big deal, doing a lot of stuff. So it can be worth playing around and testing that. Okay, so here we are. So we're now ready to create our first campaign, and basically Google splits what you do with it into campaigns. And as we're going to see, it's very simple. We choose a budget, we create an ad, we select the keywords for our campaign, and we put our billing information in. And as you're about to see, you can do this in like a few minutes. So click on Create Your First Campaign. Okay, so here we are, we're ready to go. So first of all, you give your campaign a name. I'm going to set up a campaign for a global radio project I'm working on. Planet Earth Radio. Okay, now this next part is important. This decides which part of the world or the country your ads are going to appear in. Now, I'm actually recording this in America. I'm in the States at the moment. So this has given me options around America because Google knows I'm doing this from America. When you do this, it will give you country options. And if you just want your ads running across the UK, it's very easy. It's one of the options. You click it and you're done. and your ads are running across the UK. But the other option, which actually, even if you're not interested in this right now, you should know about this as a smart marketer, because it's amazing and kind of interesting, the impact it's having on the world of advertising. You can also run your ads locally. So to do that, we clicked on select one or other location. Now, if you are, by the way, doing this globally, you can use this same process here to go round, and you go through the process here. You select where you want the ads to appear. So we turn off there and click on Western Europe. It goes through all the countries. So and it lets you select the countries like that. So you can do that whole process. You can play around with that. But the bit I really wanted to show you, and browse lets you browse by locations. You have a map here, shows you, so you can go through, you can actually select the countries personally. Search lets you do the same. You can search by country, you can search by city. All fairly straightforward, I think, kind of speaks for itself. But the bit I wanted to show you is this bit, custom. If you really want to do local advertising, this is what you want to know about. So go to the custom area. Now what this lets you do is run your ads anywhere you want in any physical area with any kind of radius that you want. So what we would do is, suppose I'm in central London and suppose I fix people's computers. Okay, and I want my ads only to appear in London within the 25-mile radius of my office. So I put in my office address. And I put 25 miles here. See, for the radius. Show my ads within 25 miles. And that will do that. It's the technology is not perfect, but it's got a lot better. And basically, Google will only serve your ads to people within the area that you specify. Obviously, if you run a local business, this is great. This is revolutionizing and basically replacing newspaper advertising, local newspaper advertising, and yellow page advertising for an awful lot of people. We're now, shifting to a world where you need a plumber. Do you go and look on yellow pages, or do you go to Google? So you might want to mention this to any local business owners, because really small local business owners don't know the power of this. So it lets us do that. We can actually, if we click view on map there, it will show us, that's my radius of where my ads are going to appear. And by the way, we're setting up our first campaign here. You can set up unlimited pretty much campaigns. So if for any reason it's the way you want to do things, I could do this in London and in Manchester and in Liverpool and however I want to. Okay, so that's how you do local advertising. Very straightforward. One other really cool thing here, if you own a shop or a store or physical premises where you want people to know where you're located, you may have noticed now that on some of the advertisers on Google, their address appears underneath the ad, which is kind of neat. Shows people where you are. Another line of copy, probably increases your click-through rate. Well, if you want your address to show up, all you have to do is tick this box here. Allow address to show in my ads. Just tick that box there. Untick it if you don't want it. So we're done for this section, and then you would click add here. Okay, so click add, and this is where we're going to appear. 25 miles around central London, and address in ads. Very cool. And then click save. So the first chunk is done. That's where we're going to appear. Language, what language do your customers speak? This is going to default to English. As I say, suppose you want to advertise in England and Germany. Well, you'd set up a separate campaign and you'd choose your geographic location in Germany, and then you'd go in here and you'd edit and you'd pick the language. That's fairly straightforward. Okay, down here talks about devices and networks. We're just going to leave this as it is at the moment. Not hugely important at the outset here. Today I just want to cover the basics. I want to get you up and running. Okay, bidding and budget. This is important when you're getting going. You'll see that it's set by default to automatic bidding to try to maximize clicks for your target budget. What that means in English is Google will decide how much you pay per bid. You don't want to be doing that. Don't do it. This is for people. That's for people who have no idea about all the stuff we're going to cover together. You don't want Google, you know, I'm sure they're lovely people. You do not want them deciding what you're going to pay per click. You want to decide that. So change that when you set up your account and make sure it's on manual bidding for clicks, which means that you set your maximum CPC, which is cost per click. Okay, very important. And we'll see in a minute how you do that. But please do that. Down here, another important one is your budget. So you can allocate a budget, because one of the nice things about Google, I'm always telling people, look, you at least want to test this in your business, and you can test it without taking huge risks. So you can decide how much you're willing to spend a day. £5, £10, £20, £50, £5,000, whatever it may be. Obviously, this is a good thing because you don't want to risk money that you can't afford to spend. I will tell you, I think people are a bit cautious. I know lots of people who are doing really good with their pay-per-click advertising, but they're only on for half a day because they've set this budget and they don't like spending money. And this isn't about the amount you spend. This is about the return you get on your investment. That's what we're aiming for here. So let's set a budget. Let's say we're going to do £50 per day. Okay, I'm gonna. These are tools which, generally speaking, you don't have to worry about that one at the moment. Scheduling, we don't have to worry about at the moment. These are just basics. There is something in here which I want to show you. So we'll click on that. Okay, we'd have to worry because the ad's not. Okay, ignore that bit. We'll come back to that later on. Okay, so we've done the foundations there. What have we done? We've given ourselves a name. We've decided where our ad's going to appear, chosen a language, and chosen how we're going to bid, and we've chosen our daily budget. And that took, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. Okay, so we've done like the foundation. We've set up, if you like, the rules for how our campaign is going to run. We're now actually ready to write our first ad, which is pretty neat. So these options here, a text ad is the ad you see when you search on Google. There are other ads for other elements of pay-per-click advertising, image ads and display ads. We'll be talking about those later. So for now, we just want to get you going on the Google search engine. So we're going to write an ad. I'm not going to talk here about how to write good ads and the copy and that kind of thing, because we're going to come back to that later. And as I say, I just want to get you up and running. And one of the nice things is when you do this, you don't, spend hours trying to write the perfect ad. Just get something up and running, get some traffic, and then we can always improve things. So let me just quickly write something. Okay, so I've written my ad. You see over here, this is what it's going to look like. Now, a couple of things about the URLs here. You'll see there's a display URL and a destination URL. The display URL is the address that's going to show on your ad. So underneath the ad, if you remember on Google, you see the address of the website you're going to. The destination URL isn't shown. It's the actual URL, the web page address that we're going to send our traffic to. Now, they have to be on the same site, but you can send here to an extension of that. So for example, if I was selling MP3 players and this was my main website, I might want to send you to the specific page about MP3s, which is, by the way, one of our pay-per-click tactics. You want to send the audience, the customer, to the page that most closely resembles what they've just typed in, and that's often not your homepage. So maybe I'll send them to MP3. So this will send them to the MP3 page, even though it's a slightly different address than what's up here. That's fine, Google don't mind, but they do have to be on the same website. And the other thing you'll notice is I've capitalized the beginning of the letters in the words. Generally speaking, that will give you a higher click-through rate. It's not always the case when you want to test, but generally speaking it will. So there you go. We've written a nice ad. One of the nice things about Google is it's so short and brief, you have to do this fairly quickly because you've only got a few words. So once you've got an ad, the next step is keywords. So your keywords, very important part of the whole pay-per-click thing. your keywords are the words, the phrases that when people search for them on Google, your ad is going to show up for. So if you're a computer repair person, you're probably going to type in computer repair as one of your first keywords, so that when people search in your area for computer repair, they're going to see your ad. So these are you're deciding when your ad is going to appear, and it's based on the keywords, okay? And as we're going to discover, this is a very important part of things. For now, when you're just doing your campaign as it is, just type in the obvious one. So I'll do internet radio and online radio. Okay, match types is an important thing, but again, I don't want to dump loads of stuff on you now. I just want to get you up and going. We'll do that later. Now, this is a little button that you might want to play with. Estimate search traffic. This will give you an idea, and it's really just to kind of give you an idea of what you're likely to have to pay per click to get some reasonable clicks. So it's telling me 15 to 39 pence. Round about how many clicks a day I'll get, about 127 to 169, kind of what that will cost me, £26 to £50. Now, I can always change that because I can change my daily budget. And these are not like hugely accurate, but it's useful, and it's useful to have it there. Okay, so what have we done? We've written an ad. We've decided on our keywords. We've got an idea on what we might need to spend. And this next very important thing is, how much are you willing to pay per click? Again, whole science to this. We'll talk about this in more detail, but you need to start off somewhere. Generally speaking, I would encourage you, if you're willing to pay a bit higher at the outset, because we want to start getting some traffic as soon as possible. We don't want it to appear in like position 23. We want to get some traffic and be as high up as possible early on, so we can get some quick results. So this is telling me that I'm going to have to pay like 15 to 30 pence. So I'm probably going to go for 30 pence and see how I get on. And I can always come back to that later. Now on here, they've split your cost per click into the search network and the content network. Okay, the search network is the Google search engine. The content is all the partner sites. Again, I want to focus for now on the Google search engine. So we're just, for now, going to put the same thing in here. One of the things you will hear me say is that actually you should have separate campaigns for the content network and search network, but don't worry too much about that right now. Now, you do this, you're done. So we've got our ads. We've told Google the words that we want it to appear on. We've decided how much per click. That is basically it. And if we hit on there, it asks us to pick where we're located. There we go. And this next bit is where you put in your payment information. So you choose how you want to pay, give them all your details, and once you've done that, you are ready to roll, and your ads will be running, and it is that straightforward. So that's how you get a Google pay-per-click campaign up and running in literally just a handful of minutes.